All right, everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is our first time doing one of these voice chats, so let us know if you can hear us. Hopefully, there's not going to be any technical difficulties.
But this is a new feature for us. So, yeah. Awesome. I'm audible. That's great. Well, so today we have Deepansh, our COO and co-founder, and we have Gautham, our CEO and co-founder. And yeah, we're just gonna give you some updates, and then we're gonna take some questions from the unofficial price group. They got together and voted on some questions to ask, and yeah, then we'll open it up for some live questions. So yeah, maybe I want to hand it over now to Gautham to give some updates, and yeah, let's go from there.
Thanks, Pablo. Hey guys, it's nice to meet after a long period of time. I was completely engaged with the tech team regarding the progress and working with them alongside with them, to deliver things in time. There has been some delays, but still we are making solid progress. So anyway, before we start with the questions, I would like to give a brief progress update of what's happening in the company and what's happening in the ecosystem and the blockchain. So starting with on Sunday, we upgraded the Polkadex mainnet with democracy pallet, which basically means it's a form of governance where we have seen like there are lot of comments from the community to increase validator bond, the minimum validator bond, and all those protocols changes. So we believe that these changes can be executed using the democracy palette, and we are also working with Subsquare. It's a democracy interface team. They have created an interface for Polkadex, and it's currently been integrated. We have been testing it out. It looks good. It's awesome, and it's a place where the community members can create posts about like what all protocol changes you need to make, and then discuss on it, and finally create a proposal on chain, and then finally vote on it with Polkadex token. It's one of the utilities of the Polkadex token to voice your concerns regarding the protocol changes. So this is already live in mainnet, but we will make official announcement, create tutorials, medium articles, and all those related documentation will be done probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And the community can vote and decide the changes that they want in the protocol. So this on the governance side. On the product side, I've been working on. I tweeted about it about 6 months ago about Thea protocol. I didn't mention it as Thea protocol then, but finally, it's an idea that came to my mind after seeing the way people interact with bridges. Especially if we take other ecosystem bridges that's available right now, moving from Ethereum to any other ecosystem is a big pain in the ass, right? Because you have to make 2 transactions, and those transactions cost at least $100, like in peak times. So this is something I was really concerned about, and it completely destroys the experience or initial bootstrapping of the Polkadex network. So that's why we created the Thea protocol. The whole idea behind it, basically, in one single transfer, users will be able to bring Ethereum and all the Ethereum ecosystem tokens to Polkadex, and it will be available for trading. Especially, we'll be focusing on ETH and ERC20 tokens. And if you have used a centralized exchange, you'll be familiar with that process, right? You can send a transfer from any generic wallet, and that's it. It just it just appears in the exchange. So it's the same experience that you can expect in Polkadex with the Thea protocol, and that's why Thea protocol is like super important for us, which led to the two-chain model that we are going to propose. I believe we have questions there. In the question, one of the questions is about two-chain model. I will explain more about it there. But yeah, so that's completed. And in fact, I had a tech team call 1 hour ago, and we have demonstrated a test deposit from Ethereum Robston to Polkadex testnet. So it's looking good. I believe probably next week, the beta testers and the public testnet will be updated with Thea protocol and IDO. So hopefully the community will be able to bring ERC20 tokens in Robston testnet the Ethereum testnet to Polkadex testnet, and finally use that token in Polkadex IDO. So this is the, you can see the progression that we have. We released an IDO initially with uh, no bridges to any other ecosystem. Now we are releasing the Thea protocol deposit functionality, and in the following week we'll be implementing releasing the withdrawal functionality. So it's a natural progression, and that we're building up to. On top of that, we are also preparing for a mainnet upgrade, which is probably going to happen, I believe, in the next 2 weeks. It's already there. You can see a PR in our public repo. It's basically upgrading the mainnet from an old version to a new Substrate version. There is no features added to it as of now with this upgrade, but it's a technical upgrade that is required to release Thea to mainnet. So that is probably going to take, and it requires all the validators to update the binaries, and also our exchange partners who has integrated the Thea mainnet and the native DEX, they need to upgrade it so that there is no friction in the deposits and withdrawals. So we're going to give about 2 to 3 weeks of time from the moment we announce the upgrade for all these participants to upgrade their validators. And once that is done, the runtime will be updated with the latest version, finally activating all the features, all the new runtime. And once that is done, Thea, the first version of Thea will be released to mainnet. Again, there will be 2 to 3 weeks of time for the validators and all the participants to upgrade, and finally activate the Thea and IDO together, and then followed by orderbook. So this is the rough roadmap of releases that we have in plan. And depending on the stability and performance of the previous release, we will be like, releasing the next feature on top of it. Yeah, I think that's, and regarding the parachain, yeah, I believe Deepansh will talk about this in the questions, but I believe we can take the questions now and we can explain more on that.
Awesome. Thanks for the update, Gautham. Then I guess, yeah, we'll move right on to the pre submitted questions from the price chat. So this one, I guess, is better for Deepansh, and that's, could you shine a light on native PDEX exchange listings, especially given that Gate IO is taking off support for many countries next month? And related to that, what's the reason KuCoin keeps postponing the listing?
Sure. Pablo, let me know if I'm audible.
Yeah, loud and clear.
Perfect. So great to see a lot of engagement from the CMA, and this shows how strong we as a community are, and excited for the product releases. So glad to be here. And coming back, I believe this has been one of the most awaited questions of all time. And we do understand a lot of struggle is there of not having native token listed on KuCoin. And with Gate.io restricting a lot of demographics in the coming weeks, it just add another layer of problem. But I believe this is the right time to share the good news. Is, I believe, day before yesterday, Gautham and I jumped on a call with the KuCoin integration team, and they are right now internally testing out a PDEX token transfer, native PDEX token transfer between multiple wallets. And hopefully we will be able to see native token being tradable on KuCoin in a week time or two. And the delay for the integration was since we were already in their pipeline, and native integration with our mainnet is seen based on their bandwidth capacity has given us a 3 months of delay. But with what I have discussed with the KuCoin team, we are in the next batch of integration, and with everything, they are running the nodes and they will be upgrading. And as soon as possible, in a week time or two, you can see native PDEX being tradable in KuCoin. Yeah.
Awesome. Wow. Okay, that sounds great. All right, then I guess that covers that. So Gautham, the next question is, I think, for you better, and that's when is the testnet release for desktop order book and mobile app?
Yeah, that's a good question. So Orderbook is one of the features that was delayed for a long period of time. Even Thea protocol was created in the last 6 months, and we were able to deploy it earlier, much earlier. The main reason for Orderbook to it got delayed was like we were depending on certain third party providers for certain pieces of the code, and which was supposed to make our lives easier, but unfortunately the level of the quality of their code was not up, to our standards, and it resulted in us creating everything from scratch. So this is something that was really frustrating from our side also, because all the time and the timeline and the roadmap that we published and we had internally were completely out of the uh, you know out of the window. So what happened was in January, like we decided like, okay, we will not depend on any third party providers. We will build everything internally from scratch by ourselves. And that actually is fruitful, because right now we have the order book in a certain stage that enables us to deploy everything probably by I'm thinking like 1.5 months. But it will reach testnet in a similar fashion to Thea. Probably now in 1 month's time, the deposit functionality, the order book, everything will be there. We have it working in our internal testnet, but you know there are last mile bugs inside it, which we are figuring out, and then we're working on it. And once all those things are clear, probably even before 1 month's time, we'll be able to release it. You can expect, the community can expect maybe like April or early May. That's the timeline that we have for public testnet release of order book, and it will be a full feature release, which means like integration with the blockchain, deposit withdraw functionality, trading with it, update. The balance will be updated on the blockchain itself, settlement on the blockchain, and also the main feature, the emergency shutdown. And we will demonstrate a situation where what happens if the centralized part, the off-chain order book, goes down, and it is basically simulating a situation where it is hacked or the operator is compromised, and how this architecture that we are building is securing the user funds, and users will be able to withdraw their funds, and they don't have any dependency on the operator, and why this is a better model. So we will be demonstrating all those things in the testnet soon.
Awesome, awesome. And for the mobile app, do you have a timeline for that?
Yeah, so we already have the mobile app, and the the front end integrated with the testnet, the existing order book. We already demonstrated the functionality to the beta testers. The only part that we are working on right now is the integration with the blockchain, which is taking some time, but probably in 1 month, so that's also sorted out. Which means the whole thing, as I said, like the emergency shutdown, the desktop version, mobile app, everything will be coming out in one single fashion together next month, probably end of next month, early May.
Wow. Okay. So that huge package then.
Yes, it will be one whole big package.
That's great. Great. Okay. So Deepansh, that then the next question I think is for you as well. We're alternating here. So what are the plans for marketing, and how/when is it going to be executed? And then please include elaborate details if possible. That's a question from the price chat.
Sure. Pablo, since we are bringing a lot of innovation in this space, our first priority should be creating awareness. Right. So the more our community is aware of what we are building, how we are building, and what value it creates to this ecosystem, especially Web3 and Polkadot ecosystem, that will be our first step toward it. And quarter two, starting from next month, will be focusing on creating knowledge base where our community can understand our product at a very granular level. We will be having a lot of AMAs right now, a lot of documentations for reviews. And as Gautham mentioned, since we're going to release our product in testnet format, people can actually test it out. And whatever question they have, it will be open to the public. We'll be happy to answer it. So the quarter two will be more focusing on communicating this information so that there's a knowledge base, there's an awareness about what we are building, what is the actual value add. And with whatever tools it is possible, we will be able to do it. And quarter three is basically when we'll be leveraging this knowledge base, we'll be leveraging our community to help us create volume, to help us increase the user base for our actual product in at a scale. And there will be more focusing on traditional marketing. So these are our immediate steps from the marketing perspective. Yeah.
I want to add on to that, Deepansh, like,
Right.
so when we talk about Polkadex, usually, the community shouldn't consider Polkadex just like any other crypto project out there, because you can see that like most of the crypto projects that we have in this blockchain ecosystem is like basically R&D collectibles. Like they have created a fancy technology, but it has no real use case. But we are not trying to become an R&D collectible. We are completely a product first company, where we are creating a product that will be usable like by a common person, and they'll be like, we want people to use Polkadex instead of going to a centralized exchange. So that's the main reason why we are working, like we are putting so much effort on the product and making it uh, work as perfectly as possible, and also work on the user experience side. And along with that, and I personally believe that once we have a good solid product that actually delivers value, automatically the marketing will be free. You can think of marketing like, when you have a subpar product, you need marketing to survive, right? It's not like, and we are trying to build a good product so that it will speak for itself. So that's
Exactly.
what we intend in the next
Yeah.
Q2 to Q3. It will happen, and once that's done, once the products are released, it should fly on its own.
Awesome. Um, yeah. Okay. So you were talking about the user experience and the infrastructure that it takes to build something of this scale. And I think one of the main questions that people had when they heard that we're moving on to a multi-chain model with the parachain and the Polkadex network as being two separate blockchains, they had a few questions about that. So the question from the price chat is, how secure is the mentioned multi-chain model, and why wait until the third batch of parachain auctions to implement it? And why was it not mentioned before? So I think, Gautham, you want to take this one?
Absolutely. So that's a really good question, because we didn't intend to have two chain model initially, and it was something that we were forced to take because of certain technological requirements. The main reason is we created Thea protocol because of the user experience it provides, right? And we later found, once we started integrating Thea protocol with the parachain code base, we found that it's not possible, at least in right now, uh, with the current Substrate code base. And I was chatting with the Substrate Builders program and the core members of Substrate, and they mentioned that like it will take at least one more year before a feature like Thea can be deployed on top of parachain, and we cannot wait for 1 year, right? So that's the reason why we separated out into two different chains. One parachain completely focused on the dot ecosystem, sharing the same PDEX native token, and one mainnet completely focused on ETH and other ecosystems, the Ethereum ecosystem. And Thea deployed on top of the mainnet, and Thea won't be available on the parachain. And parachain doesn't really need Thea, because we are defining it to focus on dot and dot ecosystem, and because of the XCMP architecture and cross-chain messaging that the parachain has, it will be much easier to bring tokens, the other parachain tokens, to our parachain. So that's the reason why Thea is not really relevant in the parachain model, and it's not technically possible to integrate right now. But in the mainnet, we will have Thea, which will allow to bring Ethereum and Ethereum tokens. And as far as the token economics is concerned, there is no change in that. So the staking, inflation, all those things are not changed at all. It's the same thing. The only difference will be like when we start the new parachain, we will be burning, like right now the treasury, Polkadex treasury, on-chain treasury has about 10 million Polkadex token. Half of that will be burned and reminted on the parachain, essentially keeping the total supply the same, but distributed across two different chains. And regarding the security, it really doesn't matter, because mainnet is secured by the mainnet validators and parachain secured by the parachain collators, again having the same staking performance and staking algorithm. It doesn't really matter. And security, from a security standpoint, there is no change because it's essentially the same, algorithm running on two different chains. And how to transfer between these two chains. So Substrate already has a substrate to substrate bridge, which connects two substrate blockchains together. And we'll be implementing that. It's currently completed by the Parity team, but they are yet waiting for the final audit of it. So I believe once Parachain is also live, I believe Q3, Q4, we will implement the substrate bridge, which essentially connects the two ecosystem together. So as far as a regular user is concerned, they don't see this distinction. Like they will see it as a unified system. But behind the scenes, the code, the logic will take care of transferring the funds here and there and moving things up. And we make sure that the user experience such a way that as far as the trader is concerned, it's a one single system. But behind the scenes, all the under the hood, everything will be taken care of.
Awesome. And yeah, so you mentioned that the main reason why we're going with the multi-chain model is Thea. You've teased Thea a lot, during the last few months. But I don't think we've yet given the community that many details on what Thea exactly will be. So yeah, this question is, what is Thea and its functionality? Is it limited to just Ethereum, or will it be compatible with other chains? If so, what other chains are currently being worked on?
Yeah. So Thea essentially means threshold ECDSA. I just derived the name from that. I mean, if somebody has a better name for it, I'm always open to that. But Thea looks good. So the main concept behind Thea is like Polkadex as a chain. All the validators will be having will be creating a single private key, which none of the validators will have. At the same time, everyone will have a share of it. And then basically the mainnet validators together hold the funds that is in the bridge in Ethereum. So this is the concept behind threshold ECDSA, where you need threshold number of validators to approve a certain action and then do that action on the Ethereum mainnet. So the technology allows us to integrate Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Polygon, and potentially most of the chains out there. And then I believe top 10, coin market cap chains can be integrated using Thea protocol. But I'm not giving too much hope here because I want to see Thea stable and working fine with the current implementation with Ethereum on the Ethereum in our mainnet right now. And probably once we feel that, okay, it is stable and it is ready to take on one more chain, we'll be integrating one more chain depending on the governance. So we will put up a governance proposal with all the technically possible ecosystems that we can support, and the community can vote on it. And based on that, we will start integrating that probably like later this year. I mean, very late this year. But first of all, I want to stress the fact that Thea is a completely new technology. It is the first feature that we are going to release to the mainnet. People can use it, but always have a disclaimer that like it's a new technology, so handle with care. Like, do not put funds that you cannot afford to lose in the initial phases. At least it is stable, and we'll be having a bug bounty program the moment we release products to the mainnet, and we'll be inviting white hats and all the other cryptographers, security researchers to come and attack the system and let us know what are the bugs that we missed. And personally, I feel that security is the utmost thing that we need to uphold. So only after that, like only when we feel that it is battle tested and it's stable, we will be removing the disclaimer and allowing people to bring funds as they wish. And also, we will be looking forward to other ecosystems that we can integrate to the Thea protocol.
Awesome. Wow. Yeah, that Thea is exciting. We've got some nice little teasers coming for Thea as well. So yeah, look out for those in the future. Okay, so Deepansh, the next question is for you, and it's related to the crowd loan, and it's So the question is, do we have any VCs backing us that are willing to participate in the crowd loan to make it more likely that we will secure a parachain slot within the current batch, so batch 3?
Right. So just to update the community, we are going for batch 3 auctions starting from 5th of April. And we have significantly reduced down our dot cap and having it more incentives and reward for the dot holders. And again, coming back to your question, Pablo, yes, we do have VC backing who will be supporting in our upcoming crowd loan. But point to note here is we have this ideology that any project who is winning a parachain slots in the future or have won in the previous auctions should be supported by community itself, like where a common Joe can contribute as minimum as 5 dot and you can create significant impact in the whole crowd loan. Because at the end, we don't want 10 or 15 whale contributing to the, in our auctions and helping us win it. Because at the end of the day, those token will be going to them and making it as a centralized token holder of our PDEX. What we want is the community to actively participate, contribute based on their capacity and have a long-term support for our project. So this is the ideal case that we look for. And that's why we are very bullish on having our community, having the Polkadot ecosystem dot holders, PDEX holder to support our crowd loan, because that's a long-term game. Once you contribute, you get the PDEX and reward, which you can do a number of things based on our token utility. You can participate, you can stake, you can participate in our governance, can trade, have fees paid in PDEX. So this is what we expect in a parachain in a very ideal situations. Having a VC backing can help you win earlier, but it's not the best case in the long term as we are talking about. So we are more bullish on our community rather than VCs, because at the end of the day, it's called crowd, not whale loan, right? So we are depending on our community for help us win the parachain. So, yeah.
And on top of that, it's a good way to distribute the tokens. We have like 2 million
Right.
tokens coming from the treasury. So there are multiple ways to distribute the tokens. I think crowd loan is a really good way so that community can acquire a lot of tokens and actually make sure that the project is sufficiently decentralized and it's not controlled by a few set of VCs who have like the majority control of the network.
Yeah, I like that. And I like, living up to the name, the crowd loan part. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, I think that answers that. Gautham, do you want to talk about Polka IDO a little bit? Some of the people in the price chat were wondering if there's any projects at this time that wish to apply or have applied for Polka IDO. And if so, can they be named? So I don't know if they can be, but let us know.
Yes. So before I answer that question, I want to add one more point to the previous question. That is, like, if you don't have VC backing and we still win the crowd loan, all the community members who contributed will be getting more tokens. So that's a win-win situation for the community. It's better to not have a VC and win the
Exactly.
parachain. It's beneficial for the community. So yeah,
We are not
just
bullish on
throwing out.
VCs at all. So yeah.
Yeah. And so regarding IDO, so we are indeed talking to a lot of partners regarding, and we do have a pipeline of projects that we want to list on IDO. But again, that will be only after we complete the bug bounty program and testing and make sure that the whole system is stable. And we are also in touch with some accelerators, the crypto ecosystem accelerators whose projects will be doing their IDO in Polkadex platform. So it's more like a collaboration with these accelerators so that all the token projects under them will be using Polka IDO for listing and finally getting listed in Polkadex orderbook. So this will be like Polka IDO will look like a launch pad for token listing in Polkadex orderbook. So that's the when we think about Polkadex, it should be like a cohesive trading ecosystem. So launch IDO will be the starting point for a token project, followed by the Polkadex orderbook listing, and finally integration with all the trading bots and all the trading partners that we have for the order book and finally getting enough liquidity from us for their project. And unfortunately, I cannot share any names right now, but we will be making announcements soon once things are ready. And then community will be updated about it along the way.
Awesome. I think that takes us to the last price chat question, which is a question you've probably heard over and over again, and that is the most important question: is when moon, sirs? So I think
let me make it very clear right away itself, because that is a very important point, Pablo. As Gautam mentioned, we are a product first company. So most of our time, most of our resources are dedicated over building products that contribute value. The number of holders or more exchange listings or prices are the effects of it. So let's have a product release, let's have a product make the noise, and all these will be the effects of it. So that can be a good answer to your question.
I like that. That's a good one. Yeah, I mean, that's, I guess, the obligatory question always, especially from the price chat. Yeah.
Exactly, because you can create n number of hypes, you can pump up the price, you can do all sort of things, but we never dedicated a single hour on it, because we are here for the long term, and we really believe, since we have been in this industry for half a decade now, we understand that in the long term, the projects who contribute value, everything speaks for itself. The community speaks for itself, and listings, token holder, and the prices are the effects of it. So
Yeah. That's great. That's the mindset to have. Okay, so I think that's the end of the price chat questions. So thank you. I think M from the price chat was the one who shared the questions with us. I think they had a voting.
thanks,
on.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
For coordinating
Thank
on
you.
this point. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, Gautham, Deepansh, do you want to add any other updates, or should we open the floor up?
I believe we should let the community members speak because they might be having a lot of questions. Let's try to cover a lot of ground there, and then we can have some closing notes.
All right, then, yeah, raise your hands if you want to speak. I think we already have someone here, so yeah, here it comes. Oh shit! Sorry, hit the wrong button. All right, Costas, you are live. Okay, not anymore. All right, raise your hands if you want to speak, and I'll make you a speaker. All right, VJ. Hey, VJ, we're listening. Hello.
There's an unmute button, VJ, that you have to click to tap to unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Hey, here, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Sorry, I was talking to myself. First of all, I would like to thank you guys for developing such an amazing product. We all cannot wait to be done so we can use it. We all need it. So the question is, what will be the main stablecoin used in pairs on Polkadex, and will there be pairs with algorithmic stablecoins?
Yeah, so we will definitely have all the so Akala ecosystem is basically the main focus for Akala is the stable coin, the AUSD. So we will definitely have that integrated with our parachain, and that will be available for trading. So that is one of the token that's available. On top of that, the common ones, the USDC, USDT will be coming through the Thea protocol, and that will be available on the Polkadex mainnet. So we, as a protocol, will not be building any stable coins because that's already a saturated market, and we don't want to compete in that. And we'll be completely focusing on the trading side of things. But any token that's available in the dot ecosystem or in the Ethereum ecosystem will be available for trading in Polkadex. And it's up to the community to decide, like to vote and decide which one will be the most used ones.
Okay, so we would need to propose it and then vote on it. And if community decides, we can have any that's available in the ecosystem.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your question, BJ. BK, I saw that you raised your hand. I gave you the speaking baton, so go for it.
All right, so thank you very much for doing this AMA with us, guys. And my question uh, was regards to I know we having a uh, test nets coming up soon, but is there any way you can do little video demonstrations for us? Whatever you have at whatever stage it is, doesn't matter. We just like to see something like for order book and also with the mobile app. That would definitely help us as a community.
Definitely, that's something that definitely we can do right now. And in fact, there is an upgrade that's coming to the testnet. It was supposed to come out today, but there were some bugs, and we unfortunately we cannot release before AMA. But that's definitely the Thea protocol, the deposit functionality in Thea protocol, the IDO, and connecting to the Ethereum Robston is coming out next week. You can directly test it out. We really don't need to make a video. We can test it out directly. But for order book and other features, we can definitely make a video and share with the community. The audiobook was initially released with the beta testers, the front end of it, and they were able to test on it. And some people did make screenshots and screen grabs of it. But moving forward, we will definitely keep a point that whenever we have something tested internally, we will create a video of it and we can share. In fact, I do have one video that I created yesterday from our internal team. Probably I will share it over. It's an informal video. We will share it in the chat later.
That works, man. Anything and everything works. We just need to see some progress. I know you don't want to show us before it's perfect and all, but we as a community, we've been here for so long. We're just so excited to see anything and everything about PDEX, man. So that's all I was saying.
Yeah.
Definitely,
Thanks for
BK. And
supporting
just to
us.
add on to your point, yeah, just
Yeah.
to add on here is this is part of our Q2 strategies where we really want you guys to test it out. Just then the product will kind of show, okay, what all things you can do. And then according to that, we can create documentations. We can have videos as well, so that not everyone will be able to kind of tech enough, or maybe the UI in the initial versions may not be that good. But again, having a documentation videos really help everyone out there. So this is part of the initial marketing strategies that we have put in place to update the community with a knowledge base to adopt it. So don't worry, we have all these things in place. So,
Hey,
Yeah,
so
we really
Deepansh, I
understand.
remember. Yeah, go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
please.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just saying, we really understand your, the community's frustration regarding the delay in the product releases. But we really wanted to release it in last August, but due to the, as I mentioned earlier, the third party providers having, not good quality code base, and that resulted in us creating everything from scratch. So these are like unexpected delays that we had along the way. But we have sorted it out, and hopefully in the next month or 1.5 months, we will be able to release everything to the mainnet. And for hopefully with the bug bounty program going well, and there are no critical bugs in the code base, we'll be able to go full throttle by the end of Q2.
Well, thank you very much for that information. So Deepansh, I think I talked to you last AMA you did with us with Vivek, I think back in the January, and you said something about some projects coming out of India that we are going to support as a PDEX. Can you give us more detail on that?
sure, BK. I do remember it was a Twitter Spaces, I believe, and yeah, we are there are a lot of projects who are especially focusing on building a ecosystem where developers who can understand Rust can onboard working in a Substrate framework. And the main focus is to have attractions from talented individuals coming from India to help build projects, of course. And we are happy for them to kind of build it and support them in a long term. So, and I believe a couple of our developers will be dedicating time, and Gautam, me, Vivek, and everyone out there will be helping them in a different phases. And for that, we are partnering with projects. I believe the announcements will be done in April if everything goes right. And in that phase, we will be more of a mentoring where wherever they are building certain projects, we can help them. What are the obstacles? Because we as a project have been here for a year almost, and we understand the problems that any developer who are just learning Substrate that has, right? So we can help them the obstacles, we can mentor them and help them build the product. And if they are interested, we are happy to support them. So this is our plan. Of course, this cannot happen in a short term. This is a long run processes, and we are working with a couple of projects. And I believe with everything goes right, April you can expect announcement coming up. And before that, these projects will be helping developers to understand Substrate, and our role will come at the later stage when it comes down to they are building something and they are stuck with it. So we, Polkadex, will be helping them. So yeah.
Well, thank you very much for the answer. I appreciate you.
Awesome. Thank you for your question and your support, BK, for sure. Okay, so we have a question from John Paul. So, John Paul, you can now take the floor.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so I have a question. Is Polkadex limited to DEXes, IDO, and exchanges only, or someday we will see just like Cosmos and Ethereum where dApps are being built inside Polkadex? And will we see that in the future?
Yeah, so no. The reason is, Polkadex is mainly focused on becoming the trading ecosystem, and we don't want to become a smart contract ecosystem because there are a lot of other projects who's doing a really good job at this, and there is no point creating exactly the same product that they have created in our ecosystem. It doesn't bring any value addition to it. But what we will do is, like, we will make sure that we are getting Polkadex as a blockchain and an exchange is getting connected to all those ecosystems, and
Mm-hmm.
people will be able to for example, Thea protocol, using such technology, they will be able to transfer the funds or deposit to Polkadex and start trading here. So our
Okay.
key focus will be on connectivity. How can we make sure that it's a really good, easy to use connectivity with all the ecosystems? At the same time, like trading bots, connecting, like for example, we have heard about like Hummingbot and all the other trading bots that people
Mm-hmm.
are generally using in crypto exchanges, right? So
Mm-hmm.
those things, and we make sure that all the trading tools will be supported in Polkadex orderbook, in a decentralized manner itself. And all the trading for crypto firms like Commerce and all the other firms, they are also supported in Polkadex. We will make sure of those components, and we will leave it to the rest of the ecosystem to create the tokens, and then like finally create a value product out of it, and
Okay.
we make sure that it is easy to bring it here and trade here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you. That's all from me. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, John
thank you,
Paul.
John.
Okay, VJ, I see you want to speak again, so I'll give you the floor one more time.
Thank you. I wanted to ask about Launchpad. Do you have all the details how we're gonna be able to participate? What will be the requested amount or necessary amount of PREX in the wallet to participate? Will that count the ones that are staked? And also, do you have any plans for the priority queue? For example, if person is I don't know, staking certain amount of PREX, will they have priority like they have in some other launchpads, or you still don't have plan for that? Thank you.
Yeah, so initially the registration of the participant in IDO will be 100 PDEX. That's the initial configuration we have, which again can be updated using governance. People, the community can vote on it and then decide a higher value or lower value. And regarding staking tokens cannot be used for participation in IDO because staking is a completely different set of algorithm, and we don't want to mess with it for the IDO. And regarding the priority, so far there is no particular priority. It's basically random because the moment we implement priority with respect to tokens, VCs come into effect. VCs will come in, they will buy up everything, and then it's gone. So what we have implemented is it's random selection. So basically, everyone who provides support for the IDO platform. Blockchain will, it's a cryptographically secure random function inside the blockchain will randomly select it, select the set of individuals who will complete the allocation, and then they will be able to participate. And the main benefit here is those who didn't get an allocation is not losing anything. They are simply, like they are locking funds for the duration of the IDO phase, and then they will get it back for free. There is no loss there. That's the plan that we have right now. But again, since it is in Substrate, we can always upgrade it if there are like new proposals in the community, like to do it in a certain different way, or there's a better idea to on how to do this. We are always welcome. So that's the and coming back to the governance side. So that's where we have the Subsquare integration that that's going to go live first. Their community can make proposals on this, and the take grants from the treasury to work on a new upgrade for the IDO platform and then improve on top of it. All those things are possible in Polkadex using the governance and the upgraded functionality.
Okay, and is that the only option where you need to hold the 100 PDEX? Or a few months ago, you mentioned that it will be possible to pay a small fee instead of holding 100 PDEX. Do you have any more details on that?
So it's not paying 100 PDEX, it's basically locking. You reserve 100 PDEX and then...
No, I know that. I'm talking about the other option. So is that the only option that you need to hold 100 PDEX, or also going to be another option that was mentioned a few months ago, where instead of that, participant can pay a small fee and then participate that way?
No, it's not a small fee. The initial version was the 100 PDEX will be burned and completely lost to the treasury or the protocol. But instead of that, we changed from burning to locking it. That's the only change.
I didn't know that. Okay, and also, will it be possible to pay with PDEX? For example, let's say I apply for some IDO and I won. Can I pay those tokens in PDEX, or is it gonna be stable coins like it's on other ones?
No, that depends on the. It is possible, technically it is possible, but it depends on the token project who's doing the IDO. So they have the option to select which token they want to raise their funds.
Okay. Yeah. Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks again, Vijay. Good questions. Okay, so anybody want to take maybe one last question? If you do, just raise your hand, and I'll make you a speaker. And if not, here we have AAL. All right, welcome.
Hey, thanks, guys. I had a question regarding collators and validators. Was there a number of how many are going to be each?
Yeah, so for the mainnet, we intend to keep like 140 validators just like that, because if we increase the validators during the Thea upgrade, it can mess up. So only when Thea is stable, we will increase it one by one, and based on the stability of Thea protocol, we will increase it up to 150. And then later, if everything works well, we can increase it linearly upwards. But for collators, it's the same idea. We can have like 100 collators, and it's up to the protocol to decide using governance that can be increased and decreased. There is no certain technical requirements on the number of collators. It's completely up to the community and the governance to decide how much collators to have. Because the more collators we have, the individual rewards will go down, because the total reward is always constant. So that depending on that, the community can decide. Initially, we'll start with 100, but then the governance will decide whether it should go up or down.
All right, thank you. I hope this is the first of many voice chats, and yeah, thank you very much for doing this, guys.
Yeah, just to add on and just to summarize here, AL blockchain, it's a gradual process, right? So we need to make it in a way that the ecosystem is sufficiently decentralized and stable enough. So based on that, and with the governance coming into action, increasing or decreasing the validator count or the collateral will be on the on-chain governance. Yeah.
Thank you.
And yeah, thank you, AAL, for pushing for these voice chats. It really is a great feature.
Yeah, thanks, Pablo. Helps the community. Thank you very much.
All right. So, any last questions, or Gautham, Deepansh, do you wanna make any closing remarks?
Yes, so I just want to share the community that a big vote of thanks for supporting us for the last 1 year and again supporting us till now. And we understand your frustration regarding the delays. We will do our best to make sure that all the products are released in time. But we will never compromise on security. So that's the utmost priority. Even if it causes like 1 month delay, it's fine. We will always focus on security. And once that is done, I mean, we expect all the things to go live probably in the next few months. And yeah, I think we will be having a really good time once all the products are live. And especially one more update is that we also have Vivek. He's currently in Estonia working with the Estonian regulations regarding the cryptocurrency license, which also brings another point. Not only the stable coins, we will also be having fiat integrations to Polkadex, and that also allows us to do all those things. These are the plans we are working towards. Probably towards the end of this year, we will have all the products live along with the fiat integration, and hopefully we'll have a really cohesive ecosystem for trading. Yeah.
Yeah, and expect more AMAs coming into picture as product releases. We will be interacting more with the community to understand their feedback on a direct basis. So yeah, that's something.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys, thank you both for coming on. I think the community really appreciated it, and thanks everyone for all the questions. All right, so with that, I do see that we had one more question from John Paul. You can just ask in the chat afterwards. But yeah, thanks everyone for joining. All
Thanks,
right,
Pablo,
we'll
for
see you at the
moderating.
next one.
Really
Happy
appreciate
to
it.
meet everyone. Thanks for your time. Bye bye. Good day.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, guys.
Cheers.